Well, good afternoon. I haven't done an update in a while, but real quick, kind of moved our workspace around a little here. We've got a big mess on the other side of the garage that I'm not willing to show, but you can see we got stuff laid out pretty good. Digging it. I got the kids' little octagon there. Actually, it's six-sided, so whatever. Septagon. Anyways, getting ready for Axial Fest. And anybody who watches or follows or looks at the Instagram or knows me personally, I actually finished mostly the Kreture SCX10 build. Huge thanks to CKRC and Wordy Made. CKRC has been our big supporter for ever now, and Matt at Wordy Made is actually the builder of this cage. I believe I have shown video of the cage itself. This is mostly finished. I still have some stuff to update and put in there. And I can't lie, most of it is recycled products from, the Oli still sitting there, or maybe it had been used on the Scout, or another truck here and there. But it still has the old style Vanquish axles, HD gears, Vanquish VVDs, blah, blah, blah. It has a mostly bomb-proof transmission is what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to say that the Holmes outdrive, one-piece outdrive inside of it is not bomb-proof, because it's extremely solid, especially when you compare it to a lot of the aftermarket one-piece spools slash bottom gear slash outdrives, and compared to the actual stock old style and new style outdrives that Axial puts out. It's tough. I did pair that with a mild brushless system from Holmes using a BLE Pro, and it currently has a 3100 Trail Master, the old misprint brushless 540 motor. Runs great in there. I really love it, but I kind of wanted something that was waterproofed out of the factory and had a little bit lower KV, so we'll get to that in a sec. Just a quick shot from the front. Gearhead light bar in there. I do have another one to put underneath for rock lights. It's a real basic, simple build. I initially wanted to do a 3D interior, but I just kind of ran out of time. I didn't want to go into the logistics of doing a motor forward and finding a place to mount the battery and this and that. So I do have a few minor details to work out, kind of like the bed. I'm going to put a full plate in that. This was just for the Octane Fest motor festival that we went to here where we live at, just to kind of add some detail on the fly. We added that little filler, but I believe I'm going to go to a full plate on there. May do a full plate on this side and a full plate on the other side with vendor stickers or sponsor stickers or something on there. So it's real basic. You see underneath, like I said, it's basic. You can see the obvious weak point that I've built into it is the HD Wild Boar 8s. Not to say that they are weak for a plastic drive shaft, but compared to everything else in it, they are the weak point. Everything else is steel and ready to go. I also preferred a nice light reciprocating mass, just like these Gearhead Delrin wheels that I believe have... they do have Delrin rings on them. Now, I couldn't find any 440 scale hardware to attach those to the wheels themselves, but we'll just go with what we got. They look good. They ride really well. Of course, BFG crawlers. Now, you've seen these before, obviously, on the Oli, if you've watched everything that I've done. I love these tires. These are just now getting broke in with some Crawler Innovations Deuces Wild Foams. They perform excellent. I've had this on two or three mild test runs. So you can see we have that. Underneath the hood, I just have it Velcroed on. Let's see here. Everything's mounted underneath the driver's seat, electronic-wise. We have the BLE and the receiver under there. And then you can see I have a little splitter for my lights, one that goes forward. Right now I'm running a Savox servo. I think I'll just stick with that. throw some not thread sealer, I'm sorry, throw some liquid insulator on that before it goes out. The CMS worked out quite well despite there being no CMS made for these older style Vanquish axle housings. So we just kind of, built that. And we have a BPC little guy battery tray that fits the small 2200 mAh 3H60C, let's see, 3S60C Turnigy lipo packs. They fit in there great, nice weight reduction. They get probably on a mild run a little over 2 hours of run time. If I'm kind of goosing it around or hill climbs and stuff, obviously it's going to reduce the run time a little. And real quick again, rehash this. Probably rehash this several times. That is the actual stock style Vanquish VP 3-link / panhard bar. But I've modified it to fit on this axle housing. And I do believe I've seen people do this on the Voodoo style axle also. I did not do that. I made my own plate for my CMS, or excuse me, for my panhard bar. But this on here is actually quite solid. I may, in time, return to the plate that I do have, plate style that I do have on the TKO axle with the truss. Just kind of depends on the clearance that I have. I actually had clearance to use this with this panhard on this chassis. But I do notice that at full bump, the panhard, you can hear it tapping on the drag link actually, not the drag link, the tie rod actually taps on the servo horn. Right now it's not an issue. I'm not using this thing for U4 racing. It's a basic trail truck. I wanted something that's going to last a few years, much like the Scout, to where it's just going to keep on going and going and going. But, again, to show a little bit more ass, per se, on the trail, having a brushless system in it. Plus, it is heavier than the Scout, so it definitely needed a little bit tougher power plant, something to push a little bit more power, and, something to look cool. I really, really, really dig this truck. You can tell it's dirty. I've had it out playing a few times. Haven't really done anything terrible to it. Anything else I've done, like I really quick chopped down some stock style SCX10 sliders because I did get snags on the body and thought, that might not be the best for it. So you can see I just kind of chopped some bits off the sliders, tipped off the ends and slid them in, drilled some holes. And that's a good thing to do if you're not banging them all the time with something like a stock deadbolt. You can see how far they stick out on that body. They would stick out significantly less cutting them down like this. So that's the truck. This will be my main truck during Axial Fest. We have my son's 19 Wraith sitting there. I'm going to do some updates on the axles, including doing a overdrive front and stock ratio rear, which is actually also going to happen to my brother's deadbolt. The Scout is going to stay where it's at for the time being, and it's going with me to Axial Fest. I may drive it around a bit, but it's not going to receive any new updates or changes or anything drastic. I may do a servo winch under the hood and a different bumper in the near future, just to kind of update and hide that steering servo a little bit. You can see I could probably put a plate across there to hide that servo a little bit better. But the electronics will get put in the rear under that deck, sort of situated below the, between the back seats and the spare tire, just to hide them out with that Holmes BRXL that's in there. So that's the updates on the trucks. Again, that's what's going on with us. You can see I got some parts here. These are a few things that are going in, additional things. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick diff swap later on, probably after the 4th of July. We have some activities on the 4th of July. I'm going to go ahead and do this diff swap really quick, put these spools in there, and use the HR spools for the green trucks. They've had no updates to the axles. They're still stock, so we're going to do an HD overdrive gear in the front for both, and the existing hot racing spools for both of those trucks. I'm not too worried about the rear right now. They're not pushing a terrible amount of power. They're not going extremely fast. But to add some ratio to the front, get them moving a little bit quicker in the front, it's going to add a little bit more climbing ability. You know, just small things. This thing is pretty stock, so that little bump in performance is going to actually help it a little. And also, we do have, I believe it's a 3100 kV, but we're going to go ahead and install this 2700 kV Trailmaster Pro brushless 540 motor. I was going to go with a 4-pole. I do really like 4-pole motors, but for the power consumption, slightly additional weight, and actual addition of power, I didn't feel that this truck needed any additional power. It's as quick as I want it to go. I did want to add some resolution to the low end. Plus, I wanted to update the motor, because the motor I waterproofed by hand, but to have it actually waterproofed from the factory correctly is a whole different story. Plus, again, you've got a brand new motor that comes waterproofed from the factory, packed well. Look at this box. This box is rigid, but it's not just the box. The container that's inside the box is actually this dense foam with a nice, well-cut lid. And inside, you have a well-packed motor. See, they put a piece of foam in there to keep that sucker from rolling around in there. See the motor? I think it's pretty. If I can get it out with one hand without dropping it on the concrete shop floor. See, look at that. And even it says right there, waterproof. Now, electronics, you're running electronic anything, it's not waterproof. We kind of know that. But more water resistance than stock, I'm all for it. You can see it has a 3mm shaft. And it comes with the connectors already soldered beautifully, might I add, onto the tabs. And especially when you are trying to install these things yourself and it's already waterproof from the factory, when it's waterproof from the factory, you have additional epoxies or materials in there than when you do buying a non-waterproofed motor. That's kind of a problem when you have a customer or a user going soldering these tabs. You don't know how hot they're going to get and what it's going to do to those waterproof materials. It's better to have those things soldered first and then have it waterproofed. So this is an additional headache I don't have to worry about. One less thing I got to solder. Trust me. When I got everybody that wants to come and get something soldered, it's nice to go, hey, look at that. Home's already soldered it for me. That makes me happy. Not only do you get the motor with its great features, and look at that, even colored shrink wrap. 4mm bullets. Nice 4mm bullets, might I say. You also get, in the box, additional female 4mm bullets, gold plated. You get a sensor wire, if I could get my fat fingers to pull it out. Look at that, nice wrapped sensor wire, which when you do install this, it's great to use some dielectric grease in that port on this plug. Helps with waterproofing a little bit more. It just keeps your signal running better from this to this, and vice versa. And then also do so, since I did buy a BLE waterproofed ESC, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And after that, you don't get one, you get 2 home stickers. So like I said, after the 4th of July, unless I get extremely froggy, but right now we've got a sick kid and some house stuff going on that I'd rather deal with than trying to fight and work happily on my truck. I'm sure this stuff will get installed after the 4th of July. We have 2 weekends left until Axial Fest 2016. We will be up there if anybody shows up. I know this is national, I know this is public, but we'll be, I believe, in I-8 and I-9. And if not, we're on I-11 and I-12. Please don't come steal my shit. I would appreciate it a lot if you did not come steal my stuff. But come in, drop in, maybe have a beer in the evening or grab a soda, sit back, look at the trucks. I'll be out taking pictures wherever I put the camera bag. I kind of hide it here and there. Be taking pictures off and on, maybe more this year than previous. And take a look at everything. Compare, if you want to take a look under the skirt of this thing, I could probably, do something about that, and you could take a look. And I think that's about all we got. So get your stuff ready if you're going. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to see everybody there. And we will catch everyone later.